She thought she had until this date, but they really did this because that's what they do.
It's worth looking at.
Yep.
We're looking at it anyway, and that's what I was going to ask you about is the software. What is the software good for? Printing out the bills?
No, they just give us the total, and then they give us those totals, and then we cross-reference that into Munis,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how we generate the bills. That's when we had all that difficulty. Remember, about the summer when
Right.
the bills came out late
Yeah. It was because the software that you're.
because our existing software now
Yeah.
wasn't capable of
Getting-
talking to the new Munis.
Gotcha.
Because of the upgrade on the
Yep.
Munis.
Gotcha.
I mean, I think all
Okay.
the city departments had some issues.
That's why
with the
we
new
had.
Munis.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, before you go ahead and get that cut sheet you've
Mhm.
mentioned, right? Because, I still am trying to, get with you so that we and bring it here to the Water and Sewer Board about what it costs us to mail out our bills annually, what it would cost us to mail out those bills monthly. Why are we billing quarterly? What would be the benefits of billing monthly? Certainly billing in a form where you could have a newsletter so that people can understand what they're paying for. And then additionally, if that wasn't enough, looking at how we're billing people. Some municipalities, you've helped me to understand that some municipalities don't do it the way they are. They work in the bills that we have. So we bill a certain amount for the water usage with a minimum amount, which we know about 60 to 70% of the users in the city are under that minimum usage. And then we also bill a certain amount based on property value. Well, other municipalities don't necessarily do it that same way. They work those into different numbers. I mean, obviously, they got to pay for their facility to run. This is how we currently do, and we need to look at that and see if it makes sense. Where do we want to be moving forward, and how much would it? If it doesn't cost that much, I think people are so used to, oh my God, I just got a water bill and it's $200. Mine was $207 last quarter, right? And it's like, but if I divide that by 3, right? It was like 207. I'll call it 210. It's $70 a month, and that's for water and sewer.
Yeah.
So I paid $35 a month for my water and $35 a month for my sewer. It doesn't sound that as much. It doesn't sound nearly as much, right? And how much water did I get? Well, this many 1,000 gallons I got for $35. And start to put that into perspective and help people to see it as a bill and plan for it as a bill like they do their electric. As a matter of fact, I think I would take that as opposed to my electric bill. But I don't see it the same way, right? And I don't necessarily know what is good. And I don't know about not that we don't, everybody here understands that we're separating storm and sewer water, that we're reducing and we're trying to take care of our environment and not dump waste into the, and that $30 a month doesn't sound like all that much money to me to do all that.
It sounds like a lot less after you've lived without the service for a day, a week, a month.
Right, absolutely, right.
And then it seems like it's free.
Yeah, it does. And so anyway, I think that we should look at that, and we need to look at it. So, and maybe that won't have anything to do with the software, and we just need to get the upgrade. But let's do it, have the conversations, because, and then we'll bring back what our findings and what the options are to the Water and Sewer Commission, and they can make the final decision, and then take that to the council, and then they can approve it. But and it may not be worth it, right? If it's that much, if we're talking $10,000 more a year to send it quarterly, maybe that's not it. Maybe we spend less and do a quarterly newsletter too. I don't know, right? So we got to explore the options and look at it. So let's do it before you pay for the software. All right, okay. Wastewater plant dump truck body.
Should actually say bodies. We have two of our large blue dump trucks that have been hauling sludge. I believe Christian believe they're 8 years old each, maybe longer than
8 or
that.
10, yeah.
8 or 10.
How
Both
much
dump,
is those?
the trucks themselves are fine, but the bodies from all of the in and out of the sludge and the gritty material have worn the bodies considerably. One's fairly good for right now, but the other one we had to do some repair to because the tailgate wasn't holding the water and the liquid sludge. You know, as it as it vibrates as it's going down, so a lot of times it separates a little bit and a lot of the water's dripping out. And you don't want to be behind that truck if that happens.
No.
We already welded
So-
the other one too.
What's that, Christian?
We already welded the other one too.
Okay, so so we're going to get pricing on new bodies, new dump truck bodies to see.
When you say you did the repair, did you take it down to DPW where we just got a new lift and where they were just recognized for all the great reimaginative work? You must know about that, right?
No, we actually had our in-house welder too.
You did. You were way ahead of it. I just know that they've done some great stuff at taking some parts of some trucks and putting them on others. It's being touted as a really great use, and so maybe they could help us too if we find a body and they could put the body on for us. We just paid for a really nice new lift that they needed for a while, and I think Tom was doing his presentation and talked about how we're so lucky to have these guys that have been around forever and that take one part of one truck and put it on another. So, all right, make sure you at least explore it. Might be nothing that you couldn't do yourself, but
Another option.
right, yeah. All right, go ahead. And the Queensberry Brewery, are we going on a tour?
No, we seem to be getting some higher strength waste again. We had this issue about 6 months ago, so
Yeah.
we're doing some sampling. We're looking at it, and we have the ability to surcharge them for the waste that's anything over, whatever our sewer ordinance calls for. So we're looking at that. I just wanted to keep everyone abreast
Up
of that.
again?
Yeah. So we're looking at that.
Has there been any staffing or management changes, or
We don't
just
believe so.
trying to see if it blew over and everybody forgot?
We don't know exactly what it is, but we know that we're getting the highest strength. Queensberry Water and Sewer have been very helpful in helping us out with sampling and doing. things
Where are
like
we
that.
monitoring them from? Do we have, or because
There's
I know
actually
at one
there's
point.
actually a pump station right up there in Queensberry, right behind the brewery, right?
Yeah, right behind pump station.
Yep.
And now it's easier to detect them because Glens or Grayscape shut down.
They're shut down.
Some parts.
Well, right, because there was at the first time it was kind of we couldn't tell if it was from them, right? We talked to them, and they said it wasn't them, but then it cut down.
It's like when we talk to them, we stop seeing hops and stuff.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
And the reason it's tough to tell is because Storytown's Storytown doing that. Great Escape, Great Escape is open. It dilutes it quite a bit. So.
And so how did we get this? Did we go and test at the source, or we started getting high
Well,
concentrations?
the Queensberry water and sewer personnel, they actually contacted us and let us know that they're smelling the same smell and the alcohol, beer smell, and flavor and color. Not a lot of hops and material to it. They gave us a heads up and pulled sample for us. And like Bill said, they're very helpful.
And then you went up and tested?
They pull the sample for us, and we take it in our own laboratory upstairs and do our own test on it to see what it was. And it had a very high pH.
And have we gone to see him yet? Are we giving him
We're
a?
gonna do some more testing. We did a baseline test and more results from them too.
Okay. Please let us know. Because if we do find him or whatever, I'm sure I'll get a call. Good. Well, is there any thought on our part of adding test sites, or I know that separately too we had some difficulty. I think at one time we weren't, or we were thinking of doing flow measurements, right? We're relying on some of our users to give us their flow measurements, and so can you do me a favor and just think about how we might make testing a more regular thing in some of these I guess, for the problem people, but also,
Actually, we are setting up a sampler, we can hold up the pump stations for the sporadic communities, we can do some baseline testing of Southeast Falls. We can
Right.
look at the pump stations, we get just a normal flow, seasonal flow, and then we find a regular numbers.
okay. A policy or a practice, or are you just doing it more because you know there were problems?
We're starting to do more, and Chris has actually spoke with either Bill or you guys about how we can actually, so we can actually charge the appropriate amount to the surrounding communities. for-
Yeah, yeah. I'd love to see you guys develop a policy or at least a practice that you could turn into a policy. What we want to do to measure flow on a regular basis, right? And then what we're going to do to keep an eye out. Maybe we do a half a dozen random sample tests at
Yeah,
the
once a month before we-
yeah, right, and just build a practice, a standard operating, and
Yeah, just verification.
yeah, I mean on a regular basis instead of just reactively.
Yeah, and I think as Chris has alluded to in the last few meetings and stuff, yeah, we're pretty much caught up staffing wise.
Oh, right,
So-
yeah.
So it's
Sure,
gonna
and you
give
might
him-
build that into the policy. We'll
It's
do
gonna-
it as long as we're staffed, right? And if there's,
Amount of staff
if,
we can do it.
yeah, if
No,
we're
and
three
that's-
three short, then you might have to suspend it until you get them back in, right? And let that be part of it.
Well, that's what Chris was saying to, not only build up the program and do the random testing, but also build them based on, our hourly
Oh, right,
fees,
yes.
our lab tests, everything that goes
Yeah.
into.
And that was what we discovered when we were looking at Moreau's contract, that those fees are actually built into the contracts. We just were not doing them because maybe we didn't have time, or the guy who wrote the contract didn't tell the guy who's operating the plant.
If you have city policy or code that any over a certain strength of DOD, you can charge a certain amount. The amount I don't top of my head.
Okay,
It has a litany of different parameters that they have to meet, and if they don't meet them, you have the ability to surcharge them for
Right.
the strength of their wastewater.
okay, great.
Or if it's a really dangerous chemical, shut them down.
Sure, yeah. Okay, bike path use at Halfway Brook, lower watershed.
Yes, I know the mayor's talked about it at length about the bike trails in and around the lower watershed and how he's been approached.
Mhm.
And I know Ron Green had said that he'd been approached by a consortium that would like to come in and give us a presentation of what they plan to look at these bike trails and enhance them, create a trail that doesn't impact the watershed the way that we believe it's being impacted now.
Right.
So they plan on attending the April 1st meeting. So
Okay.
they'll give us a little show about what they entail.
What they're thinking?
Yes.
They were gonna change the route, they would change the path.
Yeah, well,
Well, we'd have to ask them.
Yeah.
We'd have to,
suppose
it's great to at least meet the people who are actually using it now.
supposedly they have a ranger, retired ranger, forest ranger, who that's what he does now. He builds these ecological bike trails so that it doesn't impact.
Great. It's worth listening to, right?
Yep.
Great. And we have a meeting with John Strow when? You and I?
March 21st, Thursday, March 21st
All right.
at 11 a.m.
Great. Thank you. Anybody questions? April 1st, you said, Bill? They'll be on the,
Yep,
on
they'll
the
be
discussion?
Yep, they'll all be under discussion.
Okay.
Or public participation, I don't know, depends. They'll probably put them under there so they can come in and give their talks and.
Okay. Personnel, do we have any personnel issues?
No, like I just said, I think, as I said, Chris can allude to too, that we're pretty well fully staffed now. We filled, are in the process of filling both plant attendants. One plant attendant was filled by Chris Hopper, who came over from the cemetery. One of our second shift operators left, and we filled that with the existing plant attendant, who was an operator in his past capacities, and decided to go back to the second shift and work on that. We did have an operator that retired. So the other gentleman that was at the cemetery took that position. He started today. In his past life, he was also an operator here before he went over to the water treatment plant, then down to the cemetery. We're in the process of hiring another plant attendant who's a CDL driver. He starts next Monday. Okay. We're in the process of one of our mechanics is retiring. That position went up on the board. I believe we have interviews scheduled. I can't remember on the date. I can't remember what Judy sent out. And that'll be, we'll have a little testing for that position. So.
Great. I don't think we need to go into executive session. And Peter, anybody on the public? Well, no, nobody there. So anyway, then the next is our next meeting dates. We've got the water and sewer workshop on March 18th. I won't be here. Wait, I will be here. I'll be back by then. Sorry, I get home on Saturday the 16th. And then regular water sewer board meeting April 1st, and that's when we're gonna have our bicyclists come and talk to us.
We're probably also going to do maybe a little longer than usual. We're going to do that presentation that we're going to give down in Saratoga on the water treatment plant.
Okay. All right. That's right. When is that?
That is April 11th.
Fantastic. Anybody else have anything you want to add? If not, can we have a motion to adjourn?
A second?
All in favor?
Yes.
Right.
Aye. Thank you. We are adjourned.